Why does he seem so concerned about the people whose reputations might be damaged? I think we now know it's because he's all over these files.
For those of you out there that haven't taken the time to look through the Epstein files that got released recently, there have been some people out there that are really diving into the list and looking over Trump and all these different celebrities. Let's listen to what's going on with these journalists, so-called.
Lydia forced Abby to face these obvious facts, given the lack of credible evidence tying Trump to any Epstein wrongdoing in those files.
Why does he seem so concerned about the people whose reputations might be damaged? I think we now know it's because he's all over these files.
It's interesting, actually. I thought there was a very interesting email between Epstein and Michael Wolff. And Michael Wolff says to Epstein, if you have anything juicy about Trump to change the narrative, this was back, I believe, in the first term, now would be the time to do it, because Epstein was coming under fire. If Epstein had something juicy, he would have loved to change the narrative and reveal it. And I would note that all of the claims that you made in the intro were, as you mentioned, from unverified sources. They were looked into, and those complainants were deemed not credible. And there were multiple incidents with those folks involving police and psychiatric evaluations. So look, I think, if anything, this shows that Epstein didn't have anything that damning where he would have released it. And again, if Biden, who his DOJ did everything they could to put him in jail for 4 years, if they'd had any inkling or any tidbit that was damning, I think we would know that by now.
And I said that. I said that in a previous video months ago. If they had dirt on President Trump, the Biden administration would have dug it up and showed it to the nation, and it would have he wouldn't have become president. Trump wouldn't have been president again. Biden didn't do this. They tried, and there was nothing they could find. This is why we're more inclined to believe Trump when he says he's never been on the island. Yes, he was on the flights, but he was never on the island. Now, that has nothing to do with criminal activity, though. You could still commit crimes on a plane. You could still commit crimes somewhere else. But there still hasn't been any proof, no type of evidence yet, no victims out there that have blatantly said that Trump did this or that. There hasn't. If there has, put it in the comments below. Let's see the video. Let's see the clip. Let's hear from the victim themselves. Besides that, everybody else just talking, Trump this, Trump that. Shut the fuck up.
Overnight, the survivors calling on 2 New York judges to provide emergency relief and shut down the Epstein Files website immediately after a number of them had their identities exposed. Writing, DOJ committed what may be the single most egregious violation of victim privacy in one day in United States history. DOJ officials say they work to correct any mistakes when they become known.
Every time we hear from a victim or their lawyer that they believe that their name was not properly redacted, we immediately rectify that.
But the emergency request includes this quote from a person whose name has never been divulged before, saying, "I've never come forward. I'm now being harassed by the media and others. This is devastating to my life." The documents also raising serious questions about why Jeffrey Epstein was given such leniency after investigators initially uncovered potentially breathtaking criminal activity.
It is just this incredible, deep, visceral level of frustration and disappointment and sadness and grief.
Released for the first time, the original prosecution memo from a DOJ lawyer in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Miami in 2007, showing that federal authorities had uncovered evidence pointing to the broad scale and depravity of Epstein's molestation and exploitation of girls and young women. According to the memo, FBI agents discovered that Epstein arranged for massage appointments for girls and women ranging in age from 14 to 23 years old, with victims receiving a finder's fee of $200 if they recruited other girls. The memo goes on to warn that Epstein represented a continued danger to the community based on his continued enticement of underage girls. Federal prosecutors initially wanted to charge Epstein with at least 60 felony counts, but in the end, Epstein was offered a deal where he served only 13 months of an 18-month prison sentence on Florida state charges, even allowed to work in his office during weekdays. President Trump's name comes up thousands of times in the Epstein files, mostly in news articles, but also in emails written by Epstein himself. The newly released files also include records of unverified tips to investigators, including some uncorroborated information pertaining to Trump and other high-profile individuals. The two men had a falling out, and the president says he cut off contact with Epstein decades ago. DOJ officials have said the allegations regarding President Trump are false and do not come from credible sources. The new documents are also placing even more scrutiny on men who we've known spent time with Epstein. Among the thousands of new photos released, these never-before-seen images of former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein. Now seen here, crouched over a young woman, her face redacted, the date and context of the interaction unclear. Representatives for Andrew have not responded to a request for comment, but now the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is calling for Andrew to testify before Congress. Epstein was freed in 2009, and the newly released documents show he continued to communicate with some of the most powerful men in the world. The newly released documents show in 2012 Epstein emailing tech billionaire Elon Musk, allegedly discussing plans for Musk to visit Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. In one email, it appears Musk asked, quote, "What day night will be the wildest party on your island?" Musk says he never went to the island, and this weekend said he has long advocated for the release of files. Epstein had been cozying up to some of the most influential men on the planet since the 1990s. All have denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of crimes or Epstein targeting children.
My opinion, Epstein is almost on the same level as Diddy in regards to trying to manipulate high, ranking people, elites, celebrities, billionaires, rich people, and using their positions to say, hey, come to my island, come to my party, and we're going to have a great time. Then they record them, videotape them, pictures left and right. Now they have something to use to blackmail every single body. And this is how they assume dark, disgusting power. And they have everybody in control. And that's probably why he got killed. Epstein got killed because he knew too much about too many people. And now it's gotten to the point where the American people are like, wait, okay, something's going on with this guy, and now it's linked to so many other people. What the is going on? It's sickening. And what kind of sucks is some of these victims that don't want to come out. It sucks because I understand their position of, okay, we were victimized when we were younger. We do not want to be exposed. There's personal family members, there's friends, whatever, the world, they don't want to be exposed. I understand that. But the victims out here that are coming out, we, the people, appreciate them coming out because they are the proof. They are the evidence that something was wrong. Bad things were done back in the day. And who's to say that Epstein passed the torch to somebody else? Who's to say Diddy passed the torch to somebody else? We don't know. So it's our responsibility to be asking questions to figure out what the f is going on. Release the files. Let us put things together and see who the hell we need to get out of government. The politicians, whatever state you're from, if we need to take you out of your position, we need to de-seat you and put somebody else there that doesn't have a criminal record or criminal activity they have done in their past and have not even been caught yet. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Until next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.